single week you should be doing this. So you need to become the expert in your market. Okay. And what do I mean by expert in the market? Expert in the market does not mean that you sell the most amount of houses in your market. That's actually not what that means. At least not what it means to me. And it didn't mean that to any client that I picked up the first year when I hadn't sold any houses. Okay. So how do we become the expert? You guys, this is gold. I'm just telling you right now, so pay attention. Okay. Whatever. So first you have to pick your area. Okay. Pick the area that you want to become an expert in. So that could be a city, a county, a couple of cities, I don't care. Wherever you're going to be marketing yourself, wherever you're going to be trying to get business, you need to pick that area. Okay. Somewhere in your MLS, you should have like a market indicator. Oh, now I can't spell indicator. INDICA. Don't laugh if it's wrong. Okay. You should have some sort of market indicator where you can be able to search. Does anybody use Paragon? I know we all have different systems. So I know if you have Paragon, right-hand side, there's a little market spot where you can be able to choose how many days you want to look back on the market, what's new, what's active, what's pending, right? And what's price changed. That's what you want to be looking at. So you can set that up so it automatically will show those numbers to you so you can keep an eyeball on it. So stick yourself on the market indicator so you can kind of take a snapshot. You want to be checking these things. Okay, I will pull up like once a week everything that's on the market. Everything. All the price ranges, all the everything. I want to know what's going on. Are we really heavy in $1 million houses? Are we really heavy in $400,000 houses? Like what is just this general idea? And you can get reports from title companies and junk on this, but I really feel like you need to get in, look at it yourself, because it's not just numbers. You need to see the houses too. You need to peruse a little bit to see what's out there, what's available, and what's going on. Because the more you do this, the more you're going to be able to pinpoint and understand what's a good deal, what's not a good deal. So when you also get a phone call for a listing, you have this information on the top of your head. You know, I don't comp properties. I like 100, I will go double check myself, but somebody asks me for a price on their property, I full on can tell them a price on their property. I don't go comp anything anymore because I know everything that's on the market. I know what's pending. I know what's sold. I have all the comps right up here, right? So I can, it's a general idea of what's going on. So you want to know your days on market. You want to know if we have any price reductions. Okay. Is that happening in your area? Not happening in your area? If you're having too many price reductions, that means people are pricing homes too high, right? They probably have a higher days on market if that's the case. So we want to know how many. If you know how many and how many is kind of usual, you'll start to recognize how many is usual for your area and how fast they're moving. You know, when you're going to take a buyer shopping, do you have leverage now? So I'll tell you now, we have more homes on the market in our area, and the days on market is getting longer. So I'm getting roofs paid for. We're asking $20,000 to $40,000 less. Like we're now, our tide is changing, but it's because I know how many houses are on the market, how long they've been sitting. So I know what kind of leverage I have to represent my clients, right? That makes you valuable. And then if someone says to you, why am I paying you 3%? Or why, man, you make so much money. And you know what I say? Because I'm dang good at my job. That's why, because I have all the information. I had a lady say to me a month ago, she calls me, they've looked at like 4 houses randomly with other realtors that listed them, I think. They finally got referred to me. She calls me and she's like, okay. I said, what are you looking for? We go through every question right on my buyer sheet. And I find out what she wants. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking through my head, what's on the market that might fit? And I'm like, oh, there's this one that I went through. I'd already previewed it like a couple months prior. It's still on the market. I'm like, this is actually a really good, solid house. It's a really great fit. So I suggest that one to her. I send it to her along with some others. And by later that night, she says, oh, we really want to go see that one. Great. Next morning, go show it. Actually had to send my husband, I was teaching, and goes and shows it for me. She sends a message and says, okay, we want to put an offer on it. Bam, done. And she says to me, man, that's the fastest money you've ever made. Like that was easy. And I said, no, I'm just really good at my job. And yes, I did say that to her because she just wasted how much time trying to find a property, didn't know what she was looking for. I could identify by listening to her and then knowing what was on the market. I could match those two things up together and get it done. That's how you go faster. That's how you start to increase your productivity. Of course, yes, you need to talk to more people. If you're not getting in front of enough people, then you've got to get in front of enough people. It's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more people will shake out and end up buying something. But also, the better you are at your job, the faster, like the more you will convert, and the more you get done, the faster you get it done, and you're not out showing 50 houses. We showed her one house. I didn't even show her, my husband showed her. But one house is all it took. Because I knew what was on the market and I knew what she needed, what she asked for, what she wanted. Okay. So, so you need to know these things. I'll give you my secret. My Elevate group knows this already. You have got to set yourself up on a search. If you are not on a search, you are missing out. So a search is you go in, you put in your own email, name, set yourself up in your MLS, directly in your MLS, set yourself up for anything in whatever this is area, every single thing that's going to come on the market. You want an email for it. Gosh, can that be overwhelming? Yes and no. So when you get the emails, all I want you to look at is this. Bedrooms, which this is the information that it shows on there, right? Bedrooms, bathrooms, our price. For us, we have land size. Oh my gosh, I'm making new words. Okay, so bedrooms, bathrooms, land size, oh, and we got our price and square footage. This is it. We don't have to get complicated at all. We just need to do a quick snapshot of this is what is on the market, right? This is this new one that came on. How does it look? Well, is that a lot of square footage for the price? That might be a good deal. Then you can dig into it a little further. Or if you have something that comes on and you're like, wow, that's like really off the charts, that agent's off their rocker, right? Way too expensive, they overpriced that, you know. The other thing that you know is this. You meet somebody who calls and says, hey, I'm looking for a property, and you're like, oh, yeah, there's this new one that just came on the market yesterday, because you already saw it. This keeps you from having to get back to your computer to go do an actual search every day. If you just do this, put yourself on the search. I have it hit me instantly. So you have a couple options. Usually when you set up a search, you can either have it email you once a day, you can have it email you once a week, you can, once, and then like immediately. I have mine on immediately. And I will tell you why. Because if I am looking for a good deal for somebody, I need to know right away. If you wait till the end of the day, it could be gone. It could be gone. So you want to be just right away and just look at it and then delete it. Just take a look, delete it. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it's going to help you to do all these things too, right? To become the expert in your area because you know what's going on. 100%. Then if you also get a phone call, I'll tell you what you don't get from most agents. When somebody calls an agent and they're like, oh, there's this house that came on the market, and they're like, oh, just a minute, let me go look up what's the address. Let me go look at what you're talking about, right? If you already have an idea of what just came on the market, You're like, oh, the yellow house. Yep, I know what you're talking about. What can I do for you? And even if you don't know all the details about the property, you at least know what it is. And then you can start looking it up while you're talking to them. Grab your home snap, pull it up on your home snap, right? And start kind of perusing it to see. This applies very well to when I'm trying to flip houses. This is exactly how I find investment properties. And we're going to have an investment class in Elevate here this month. But this is how I find investment properties. No joke. First investment property I bought, I'm driving home at 11 o'clock at night from showings, and I get a thing on my email, don't judge. I looked at it and I'm like, somebody's selling 40 acres for $60,000. It's like $55,000 or $60,000. I was like, no way, no way. And I kind of pull over, look at it, and I'm like, holy crap, they full on are selling 40 acres for like $55,000 or $60,000. And I called my husband and I was like, we need to buy some acreage. He's like, why do we need to buy acreage? I'm like, because it's underpriced. It is full and underpriced. And we'd saved up the money. I'm like, we need to buy some acreage. And he's like, I don't know, my poor husband, I kind of put him through the ringer a lot. Bought that acreage. I could split it and sell it into 2 different lots. I knew I could. So I knew the potential that it had. I ended up turning and selling it just over a year later, barely a year later, and I made a $65,000 profit. That was before the prices even went up. I made a $65,000 profit. Like, I can't stick my money in the stock market and make that kind of money, but I can find properties, right? And it's been more than once. That's how we find properties to flip. That's how, when I have investors or people who do want to flip properties, that's why they call me. Because I keep an eye, and the second something comes on the market, we write an offer before we even go to see it most of the time, because we know it's so far underpriced that we can make some great money on it. So anyway, so we'll talk about that more in Elevate this month on investing and flipping. But anyway, that help? Learn something new? Who learned something new? I'm yelling. Okay, good. A couple things. If you guys ever want more information, ever want more guidance, and want the coolest group in the world, our Elevate Mastermind group is freaking awesome, not gonna lie. So that is still open. If anybody wants to join that, you are welcome to. It is a yearly, it's $16.97 for the first year. You get my entire business plan. And it's not just my plan, it's like every single, I'm telling you, just like I talked to you now, everything I say to clients, every single thing I did in my business, everything I still do in my business. So that's what Elevate Mastermind Group is. And I did put up a video explaining everything that's in it, because we added leads to it and everything, so that you can just be awesome. If you need a planner, you can go to agentleaderplanner.com. The planners are in, hallelujah. It only took a little while to get them, but they are so awesome this year, and they have hard covers. So those are available. If you don't like that, like if you like your own daily planner, this is just a client management book. So this is just listings and buyers. So you can be able to keep track of all your listings and buyers, and it has all the prompts in it for when you get a phone call, I flip this sucker open and I start asking them the information, because then I don't forget anything. And I don't lose it, because it's not on a Post-it note in my car. So that's the other thing. And then some of you have asked what Blueprint Library is. So Blueprint Library is every Friday training that we've ever had. So we've got 50 plus trainings in there, all in the library. It's $29 a month. It should be a whole lot more than that, but it's not, because I want you guys to have the information. So $29 a month, it's got all the trainings. So, oh. Thanks, Kim. She loves the planner. She's been using her first one for the last 6 months. And the covers on the last one is not what I wanted. I will just tell you right now, it was not a hard cover. And I was like, I need a hard cover. And I told him, he's like, oh yeah, it's this hard vinyl, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, great. And then I get it. And I was like, this is the same cover I had last time. I was like, what the crap? So this time I actually got hard covers. Believe it or not, they're actually hard. So anyway, those are getting shipped out. So, All right, guys, you can always post if you have questions or topics that you want me to teach on. You can always put it in the Boost Facebook group. If you're not in there, just search Boost and you'll find it. And then you can be able to, yeah, ask me anything. If you're struggling with something, DM me. That's a lot of how I come up with topics. It's just what's going on in your lives and what you guys could use information on. So, okay, have a really great weekend, you guys. I will see you next week. Thanks for being here.